Welcome back everybody to another MOTOBOB video, and today Triumph announced a new Evel Knievel edition of their Rocket 3 power cruiser to celebrate their relationship with the most famous stunt rider ever to grace the planet, who often rode actually Triumphs to complete his daring jumps. So in this video we'll go through all of the details with everything that you need to know about it. Now just 500 of these special edition bikes will be made. There'll be 250 of the Rocket 3 GT and 250 of the Rocket 3R, both of which share the biggest production motorcycle engine currently on the market. It's 2.5 litres, which is quite phenomenal, but also the other thing that makes it stand apart is the fact that it's an inline triple that's mounted sort of longitudinally in the chassis, which I think is unique on the motorcycle market. Now, as you'd imagine, from such a big engine, you get outrageous performance figures with a frankly ludicrous peak torque figure of 225 Newton meters, which again is more than any other production bike currently on the market. Peak power now comes in at 180 horses. They gave it a bit of a boost in 2024, so lots and lots of grunt on tap, although I should say it is somewhat offset by a rather hefty wet weight of around the 320 kilogram mark. Still, I gotta say, in my experience, it's absolutely rapid under acceleration, especially considering it's such a big machine. Thing is, it's also not bad around corners. Now, the chassis spec for these special editions is the same as the standard bikes, and so you still got suspension from Showa with a girthy 47mm upside down fork, which is fully adjustable. Now the same is true of the monoshock at the rear, which is also supplied by Showa, and brakes are from Brembo with their top spec sporty Stylema calipers on twin 320mm discs up front. On top of that, as is often the case for a big cruiser like this, you've also got a full piston brake at the rear. It's a Brembo M4.32 caliper, and that's on a single disc, but still pretty flipping big at 300mm. So you can use both brakes at once to get all 320 kilograms stopped fairly quickly. So yeah, it's super long, it's not exactly a lightweight, but it's still more agile than you'd expect, and a lot of fun to ride with all that power on tap. Where these two models do differentiate themselves though is mostly with the ergonomics. Now the R model is meant to be a bit more sporty, I guess R stands for Roadster, and so it gets a slightly taller seat height of 773mm, along with mid-position foot controls and lower Roadster style bars. The GT, on the other hand, is a little more chilled out and more so built for like cruising, so the seat comes in a little bit lower at 750mm. You've got forward foot controls as well, and then higher swept back handlebars to get your back angle a little more upright. Also, fitted as standard, you get a fly screen and a passenger backrest, and so that all combines to make it a little more comfortable and more deserving of that GT suffix. I should point out though that you can mix and match some of these features and bar positions and foot peg positions by delving into the accessories catalogue, and there is a little bit of adjustability as standard with the foot pegs on both of the bikes to suit all bodily dimensions. Now on top of all this, the Rocket is surprisingly techy, especially if you're coming from a big cruiser from a brand like Harley for example, where they do tend to be pretty simple, whereas this thing gets all of their latest rider aids, so 4 riding modes, cornering traction control and ABS, hill hold control, a quick shifter, keyless ignition, a USB charging port, and cruise control. All of these settings and whatnot are controlled with these comprehensive switchgear and a stylish TFT display which has a bunch of different layouts and options, along with phone connectivity features. But onto the specifics of these Evel Knievel limited editions, which I think look pretty sweet in my opinion, especially if you're into your sort of Americana. The big standout feature has to be the fuel tank, which is absolutely massive, and it's finished in full chrome, but with white panels painted over, along with the iconic stars and stripes graphics that take inspiration from Evel Knievel's famous white jumpsuit. On top of that, you've got some matching bodywork on the rear, but then there's sapphire black on the mudguards, the side panels, the headlight bowls and things like that, just to give it a little bit of contrast. Now, as is often the case with these Triumph special editions, they've covered it in small logos and details just to tie the whole thing together, like the EK graphic on the front mudguard, and then some gold Evel Knievel signatures on the radiator cowls and also stitched into the rider's saddle, which is a nice touch. Then you've got the dedicated startup screen on that TFT display, and they also say each bike will ship with an exclusive hardback collector's book telling the story of Evel Knievel and the Triumphs he used, each of which will be individually numbered to match the bike and signed by Triumph CEO Nick Bloor. Now these ones are available from March 2025, and like I say, there are 250 of each model, and the pricing, well, the R will be the more affordable of the two at £25,495, whereas the GT comes in at £26,195, and I guess that's because of all those little extra bits of kit you get. So that's a £2,300 premium over the current pricing for the standard Rocket 3 Storms. And so whether these are actually worth it is probably in the eye of the beholder, but I assume quite a few will get snapped up by Evel Knievel enthusiasts and collectors. As always, I'd love to know what you think of them, so do let me know down in the comments below. And also, if you haven't seen it already, we'll put our full review on the screen now of the Rocket 3 GT. Do hit subscribe as well if you want to see more of the latest motorcycle news like this right here on MOTOBOB. A massive thanks for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video.